Have you ever used an AI agent like ChatGPT and with your commands, you are unable to run a statistical analysis? If this happened to you, then this video is for you. We are going to talk about prompt writing for forensic statistics. I am Professor Khalid Khan. I am from University of Granada, and to help me deliver prompt engineering lesson, I have with me Moaz. Moaz, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Moaz. I'm an intern physician at Cairo University Hospitals from Egypt. Hi, Professor Khalid.
Okay, so in this video, we will tell you about what is AI pipeline, how to construct the prompt accordingly, and we'll give you some tips for efficient use of your AI prompts. So when you start something using AI, I presume you look for the ranking of AI tools. And you may come across something like what we see on the screen in your searches. Uh, Moaz, would you like to give a few comments about such rankings?
Well, there are multiple rankings and they can be influenced by multiple factors. We know right now that one of the top 10 AI tools, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, and other famous AI tools. But actually, many of them can give you false results if you are not using them correctly as they are intended to be.
All right, so the false results may also arise because the construction of your prompt is not correct. And this is something we would like to address in this video. So to begin with, you got to understand what is the AI assisted pipeline. Moaz, could you take us through this?
Well, we have preliminary initial AI assisted pipeline for applying and developing prompts for statistical analysis in AI tools. First, we have to check the assumptions. Every statistical tool have multiple assumptions, and if you ignore them, you will get bizarre results. And after that, we write a prompt to check assumptions or every assumption, to check assumption of each statistical tool. After that, we upload the content that we are going to apply the statistical test on, whether it's a PDF or a text. And after that, we give it an actual structured prompt for the extraction of these outcomes that we are going to apply the statistical test on. And after that, we get to the actual analysis and we get a write a prompt that gives it a step-by-step how to handle the analysis of that outcome. And at the end, we have to give it us a way to structure a report about the results of our analysis. All of
All
that
right,
is a prompt engineering.
all right. So we imagine that we have a paper of interest that we are reading, and we want to double check that we are not being fooled by the statistics presented. We want to check that the paper statistics are trustworthy. Using the AI pipeline we just saw, we're going to construct a framework for our prompt. Interestingly, this framework has exactly the same acronym as the PICO acronym used for the framing of research questions in healthcare. So, what does the PICO forensic prompt framework stand for? Moaz, could you please explain this?
Well, let's imagine a play. You are the director of that play. You have to give the actors, which is an AI tool here, a theme. You have to give it a persona, and that's the first thing that we give it. The first thing that we do, we are gonna give it a persona of a statistical expert that gives it a theme that it's gonna work inside it. And the second thing that we give it, we're gonna give it a script to work with. That's the input format. That script should be structured in an input format that this tool can understand. And after that, we give it a step-by-step on how to act on this play. That's the chain of thought. We're gonna give it each step of the statistical analysis and how to apply them and how to avoid the misconceptions and problems that occur. And at the end of it, we gotta edit the final outcome of that play and make a video out of it. That's how we give it the output scheme. Whether we want to get the actual text or the actual outcomes or the actual code at the end of the applying that prompt All of that is going to be structured in our prompt.
One of the common problems people complain about is that you got to use the paid version. And the other problem people complain about, well, AI often has hallucinations. So, on these two aspects, what are the practical tips that you would give to our audience?
First, we gotta say that you can apply the same test using either the free version or the paid version. So you can apply all the tests that we can gonna explain in the future with the free version of your AI favorite AI tool. If you follow these simple steps to reduce your token use, tokens are the currency of AI tools. If you use more tokens, you're gonna pay more, or you get out of limit and you are banned for the day. So first and foremost, you gotta copy and paste the paper instead of uploading a PDF. This takes less tokens. Second of all, you gotta remove all the bizarre and unused parts of the paper, like the introduction, discussion, and references. We are applying a statistical tool on outcomes, on methodology. We are not using the introduction, anything here. And the third tip would be to apply each step in a separate chat. Commonly in most AI tools, each chat has its own tokens limit. So if you go over that token limit, you will either get a stop or you're gonna get a hallucination. And the fourth step would be, I'm waiting for Dr. Khalid. Ask for compact tables. Don't ask for a full document of the outcome of your paper. Ask for something small, something that like JSON files or even an Excel sheet, although Excel sheets are going to be a little bit harder. And the first step would use simple models and free models for a simple test of one paper. And don't you and reserve your advanced models or paid models for larger projects or multiple tables or multiple papers.
Okay,
We can also
so go ahead.
okay, continue. We can also have some practical tips to avoid hallucinations, which is a common occurrence in using AI tools. One of them is to analyze one study at a time, or one table, or even one table at a time, to avoid the common hallucinations. Another tip is to ask the model to show the actual calculations or actual detailed outcomes, and not just that there is a statistically incorrect result. Show me what you actually did. And the third step, to avoid OCR or avoid using statistical tools on pictures. Try to get the text out of the pictures first and then use the AI tools. And a fourth step would be to develop your own prompts, to edit them and keep them on your computer. I keep my own prompts, I keep on developing them each time I use them because practice makes perfect. And the fifth step is to never trust AI generated statistics. AI generated statistics are just for exploration, they are for initial analysis, they are just for your own exploration, and you have to recheck them with actual statistical tools that are available either online or in Python or in our programs.
All right, so with this, we bring this video about the principles of prompt constructions and the practical tips to an end. And in our next video, we will provide you a real example of the application of these principles with prompts to analyze a published paper, which, following the evaluation of its statistics, was retracted. And we hope you will give us comments on our current video and will follow on what you have learned here with a further video. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. Thank you.